Yogis, welcome to the yoga shed. It's a beautiful day out there, so hopefully that's helping some of you coping with the situation. Some of my friends have said to me that just by talking to me, they can sense that my anxiety levels are sometimes kind of a little bit up here. And I'm sure most of you are feeling the same. So, as I said in my previous post, I'm not going to do any asana. That's not my intention at the moment. But what I think I can maybe offer some of you just to can help you through this is pranayama. So pranayama can be used to address anxiety. And if we look at anxiety, it's kind of an upper body experience. Some people sometimes feel a little bit sicky in their bellies, but most of us kind of feel it in our heart, in our chest, in our heads, tingling in our arms. And it's that feeling of being out of control. Extreme anxiety obviously makes you feel panicky and can lead to kind of panic attacks. So most of us do experience it as an upper body experience. In Ayurvedic terms, it's Vata dosha is aggravated. Vata is linked to space, air, movement, lightness, and that kind of lightness and movement is kind of difficult to control. When it's all up here and it's moving and it's upper energy, it's difficult to control. So if we can start to bring that energy down, yeah, it becomes easier to control. If you think about this anatomically, everything in the upper body is light, it's delicate. So the bones are delicate, the skull's a delicate object, the collarbones, the fingers, the sinus bones are like paper. And if we think about it from an organ perspective, you've got the heart, you've got the lungs, they are very, very sensitive organs. And when anything goes wrong there, it creates really big complications. But when we start to go down the body, when we get to the stomach, when we get to the intestines, when we get to the organs of the pelvis, everything's a lot heavier, it's a lot more solid. And even when we look at the bones of the body, the more we move down the body, the heavier they become. This is a pelvis. I mean, look how solid, it takes a lot to crack this baby. The bones of the thighs are some of the heaviest bones in the body. So if we can try to start to take some of that energy down into the pelvis, it gives us more control. And what we're doing here is we're trying to move prana down. Yeah, prana is sometimes called energy, it's sometimes called life force. It's so much more than that. It contains all our emotions as well as everything that we need to sustain ourselves. So the practice that I'm going to share with you today is just simply that. We're going to move the energy down. Okay, so I want you to get comfortable. Sit cross-legged, kneel, sit in a chair. If you're going to sit in a chair, make sure that your feet are firmly planted. So on a couple of books, you can pause and go back to it. If you're sitting in a chair again, make sure that your lower back is supported, that you're not slouching because we need to be aware of that prana flow. Okay. If you're sitting cross-legged, make sure that you've got something under your pelvis, that your knees are supported, etc., so that you can sit nice and upright. Okay. So if you need to pause and then turn back on to get yourself comfortable, please do that. But then when you are ready, when you do feel that the body is settled, just close your eyes. And for the first few moments of this practice, just connect to your breath. You're not going to breathe in any particular way right now. You're just going to breathe in and out of the nose. Breathing a way that you need to breathe right now. That might be slowly and deeply. It might be a little bit more full. Just breathe the way you need to breathe, but just be aware of your breath. And I want to make sure that the face isn't tense. So relax your jaw, relax your eyes, relax your cheeks, relax your forehead, even your temples. Just feel as if the skin on the face is just becoming really, really soft and you're just breathing. Hands just relaxing on your legs or in your lap. And then as you focus on this breath, become aware of breathing into your headspace. Feel that every breath that you breathe in through the nostrils is just filling your headspace. aware of the sensation of the head, maybe feeling that the breath is creating space in your head. And if you're feeling particularly anxious at this moment in time, this might be quite a difficult practice for you, but I want you to just stay with it. And then with that awareness of the breath and the head, we're going to start to move it down. So I want you to feel as if you're breathing now down into your throat. And then from your throat down into your chest. And feeling that gentle rise of the chest and softening of the chest as you breathe. Maybe even feeling that breath into your armpits, into your arms. And if you find the energy, if you find your awareness rising back up into your head, breathe it down, down into your chest. And if you are feeling anxious and you're aware that you're feeling anxious, then don't try to meditate it away. Don't try to breathe it away. Connect to how that feels. The physical sensation of being anxious. Not the little stories that your anxiety is creating, but just how it physically feels. And again, stick with it. Then we start to breathe that prana, breathe that energy down. So move it down to your belly. Allow your belly to be really, really soft. So you feel the expansion and softening of the belly as you breathe into it, feeling it all the way around to your lower back. And there's a softness there, but the breath doesn't need to be really light, doesn't need to be delicate. If you need to take full, deep, robust breaths, that's what you do. Breathe the way you need to breathe right now. And again, if you feel the energy rising back up, if you feel the awareness moving up to your head, breathe it down from the head to the chest to the belly. And then finally, we move the breath down into the pelvis. So visualizing the bowl of your pelvis. Maybe even visualizing all the muscles, the ligaments, all the connective tissue that holds your pelvis. It's solid, it's secure, it holds our emotions. It's where our sexual reproductive organs sit, secure and safe in our pelvis. So breathe down into your pelvis. And you may be able to connect to a sensation of space being created. Maybe a minuscule widening of your pelvis as you breathe in. But breathe it down. And again, if your mind starts to drift, if the mind starts to float away from the pelvis, maybe up the body, maybe following little thoughts, as soon as you're aware that's happened, breathe it back down into your pelvis. Don't overthink this, don't try too hard, just let it happen. Just remind yourself that The one thing that we carry with us all day, every day is the breath. So that whenever you feel that your anxiety levels are starting to rise, maybe becoming a little bit more fearful, just find a quiet place. Find your breath in your nostrils and then move that breath, move your prana with the breath down into your chest, into your belly, into your pelvis. Then when you're ready, just blink your eyes open. Sending you all love and blessings. Namaste.